Welcome to Wisdom of the World. Today I'm going to tell a story from Samoa, way in Oceania, one of those islands. And it's called The Origin of the Coconut Tree. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a young mother who every morning she went to get some water a little bit up in the forest. In the, there was a waterfall, and there she would get some water. And she noticed that morning, a little eel jumping around, and the eel jumped in her bowl, in her calabash that she was carrying. And all of a sudden, the eel started to talk and said to her, "Oh, mother, please take me with you. I'm bored here. I would like to play with somebody, who has the same softness of skin that I do. Somebody who sings as beautiful as the river can." And the mother thought of, her little daughter, Sina. She had a husband and a small daughter. And she thought Sina could maybe use this eel as a playmate. And so she took the eel with her back home. And when she home, then her husband and little Sina just woke up from their dreams like they did every day. And the little girl was delighted to have a friend like nobody else had, and a friend that she could confide everything in, a friend that she taught everything, who were her parents, what was okay and what was not okay, everything she told. And she was laughing, she was happy like anything. The first thing she did was get a bigger calabash so this eel had some space to swim in. And so the time passed. A year after that, the father made a bigger calabash so that the eel had space. And then the year after that, an even bigger. And the year after that, he decided to just go to the river behind, not too far from their house, and just sort of make a really big side hole there that he could just have plenty of space. This eel kept growing, even bigger than normal. You must know that eels are sacred animals in Samoan culture, definitely then. So one day, the eel called the mother and said, "Mother, you have taken me many years ago, and just to play. You have given me your daughter Nina to play with, and we have played and we have played. But Nina has grown now. She's 13 years old, and we are done playing games. I'm asking you your permission for me to marry her." And the mother, "What?" And he says, "Don't worry, I will take care of her. I will protect her. I will make sure she has enough to eat, to drink, and I can protect her from the rain, from the sun, and I will do everything that I can to make her happy. She can always count on me. I will always be the shoulder she can lean on." The mother just so shocked and panicked, and she dropped her calabash that she was carrying, and she ran home and told her husband. And her husband said, "Oh my goodness," and he held his head between his hands, didn't know what to do. He says, on the one hand, that animal is sacred, so we should do as he asks. But on the other hand, an eel and a person, that already, and then this one, even the one they grew up like brother and sister married, that can never happen. I will talk to him. So in the meantime, this became a story around the island, and everybody started to avoid that place where the eel was, and nobody was visiting the eel anymore. Not Sina, not the mother, not the father. And the eel started to doubt himself, but also started to get more and more worked up. He says, I have done everything. I've been a good friend, yeah, the best friend ever, yeah, and now I want to marry her. But he got more and more angry as time passed and as nobody wanted to see him. Now, as this became an issue to be seriously dealt with, the father had a talk with the mother and the daughter and says, tomorrow I'll go up the mountain, I'll take the eel and I'll drop him from high height, and then we'll be done with it. So that was a trick, of course. So he said to the eel, please come, I will bring you up, and there we will have a small ceremony to celebrate the union between you and my daughter. And then the eel believed the father and allowed himself to be carried up the hill. And but he kept asking the father and said, where is this? I cannot smell any sort of, meat cooking. I cannot smell the odors of any preparatory for any festivities. And he got more and more suspicious. And at some point, he just whacked the father. He was big by that time, and he could give a powerful whack with his tail. And he jumped off and he ran on and he disappeared. The mother tried another trick. She also got him to come into her arms, because she said she would promise to bring him to Sina. But actually she wanted to put him in another river, so that they would be rid of him. But as soon as the eel saw that the mother was taking another road, not the road to her house, he got also suspicious and he went away. Then the father got very desperate and he said to his daughter and his wife, well, I want you to go tomorrow morning, very early, it's still dark, over to the neighboring island. I know the king, he's a good friend of ours, and I want him to look after you for the time being. I will give you a basket full of fruit and fish and whatever I can offer to him. So the next morning, the girl set off in a canoe to the island, and the parents sang a bit prayer that she would find rest and that she would find peace, that she would be able to love again without fearing. And so they wished her a good trip, and she made it across to the island, and the king of the island received her there and saw the big basket of fruits and other goodies that the father had prepared, and he said, okay, I will take care of you. And he asked his wife to look after Sina for the time being. And after a couple of days, Sina sort of got over the worst fear and started to calm down a bit and even started to smile a bit. Now the king of the island and his wife had a daughter the same age as Sina. And so she said, sister, let us go and forget about all our sorrows. Let's go and have a bath. And so they prepared to have a bath, and they went along to, this is sort of a protected part of the bay with flat stones on the ground, and it served as a bath, as a huge bath, of course. So Sina looked at it and felt the air, and she felt safe and she felt good, and she went into the water with her friend. But then all of a sudden, whack! There was the eel, and he had red eyes from anger, and he flapped and he says, why are you running away from me? Sina, why are you not hugging me? Sina, what is it that I have done wrong? And the girls got so scared, they screamed and they ran away. And exhausted, just out of air, they arrived at the king's place. And the king was just having a meeting with a guy who also lived on the island, who was also a chief, who was actually asking, he was an old man, he was asking for the hand of his daughter. And of course, the king wanted to have nothing to do with that. But anyhow, he used this interruption of that sort of ritual that was going on as an excuse. And he said, I will not have anybody hassling a beautiful girl on my island. Yeah. And so he asked his warriors to pick up their spears and to go and do what needs to be done. Now, the old guy who he was conversing with thought that this was all about him, and when he saw all the warriors picking up their arms, he just ran off. In the meantime, the warriors went to the natural basin, the bathtub, and the eel made himself really big, and he was big and strong. But the warriors were many, and every time the eel was hurt, he struck back with a big swipe of his tail. And but the warriors were many, and in the end got the better of him. And they put him on land, cut him into pieces. And at that moment, while they were doing that, the head rolled at the feet of Sina. And when Sina saw the head of her friend, she cried because she thought of all the good times they had together. And she just felt horrible that it had come to this. And when the head then started to talk and said, Sina, I can see your tears because you cry. I know you still love me. So I want to protect you like I always have all those years. I wanted to continue to do that. But I'm only an eel. I'm not a human. I know that. I ask you for forgiveness. And he said, please bury my head near a wall there, and just take good care of that little plant as you have taken care of me. And so that is what Sina did. She planted the head, and out of it shooted very quickly a little tree, and that tree became the first coconut tree. And as the eel had promised, he says, if you take care of the fruits that I have and you keep planting me, you will never lack anything. You and all the people that come after you will never lack anything. You can always be in my shade. And when the first coconut fell, and she shook it, and she shook it, and she opened the shell, and she saw the 3 eyes in there. She recognized the 2 eyes and the little hole, which it made her think of the eel. She says, that is the face of the eel. And she opened the hole and she drank from it. And as you all know, coconut water is just the most divine liquid ever. And so Sina kept her promise and kept planting and planting and planting more coconut trees. And at the end of the days, she died in the shade of a coconut tree. That's how coconuts came into this world. And that's how a tragic love like this may still lead to something beautiful. Every cloud has a silver lining. Thank you.